all the grain will go from the malt room through this white auger and up into our grain hopper. So we can mill it the night before, and in the morning all I got to do is pull that chute and all the grain will drop into the water. It's basically simmered at a certain temperature that enzymes are active, and once we know that all the sugars are converted to something fermentable for the yeast, we run all the grain and everything back over to this vessel here, which is our lauter tun. So now the liquid is going to be boiled, and we do actually a 90-minute boil because we use a lot of Pilsner malt, so it helps reduce sulfur and stuff like that that's naturally in the malt. And once it's all in here, once I have about 16.5 barrels of beer, so it's about 476 gallons in here, I will start adding my hops. Once that's done, I actually stop the boil, and the wort goes from 212 degrees down to about 50 degrees, and it goes into one of our fermenters. We put about 10 million cells per milliliter of yeast into that wort. And what they do is they'll take in the sugar, they'll rip it in half, and it'll turn into CO2 and ethanol. And you can actually see right here the bubbling. That bubbling is from the yeast. So they're actually creating so much pressure in there, the CO2 is filling that tank and bubbling out. So near the end of fermentation, I will close this and latch it, and it will naturally carbonate. A lot of breweries will force carbonate. They'll take CO2 out of a canister and they'll send it into their beer and carbonate it that way. We naturally carbonate, so we're not wasting any CO2, and it's actually it makes the beer a little bit rounder as far as flavor goes. And it's all fermented here, and then we send it right to a bright tank, and it goes right to the bar. So there's a lot of variables when you put something in a bottle or in a keg or whatever. If it has to go through a lot of different phases, there's a lot of oxygen pickup and stuff like that. So it'll stay fresh for longer, and it'll age beautifully, because it's the best way to keep beer fresh is to use these tanks.